starting off in standing, let's just take a moment for our usual setup into neutral, feet about hip width and parallel, and spreading the feet into the floor. Knees nice and soft, so avoid locking through the legs. And just take a moment to stack through the spine, feeling balanced and centered over the feet, relaxing through the shoulders, drawing them down the back. Just taking a couple of deep breaths in first of all. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just try and let go of any tension that you might have this morning. And if the shoulders feel tense, try and relax through the hands, because that can help. And we're just going to start by mobilising through head and neck. So the next time that you breathe out, just nod the head, chin towards the chest, looking down towards your feet. And we're going to come into some head rolls here. So now just looking along the floor to the right, and then travelling the eyes up the wall on that right side, up and across the ceiling, over to the left, coming down the wall on the left side, and bringing it all the way back to look down to the feet, and then reverse. So coming over to the left, travelling up the wall, across the ceiling, down the wall on the right side, coming back to the feet. And let's do one more in each direction. So again, reverse, over to the right, and coming up. Maybe increase that range a little bit as you circle round if things are feeling a little bit looser. One more time in the opposite direction. Keep those shoulders relaxed. All the way round. Bringing the eye line back down towards your feet, and then bringing the head back up on top of the spine, standing tall. Resting the arms down by your side with the palms facing behind you. Taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, we're just going to float the arms straight up in front, reaching above the head. And just watch that you're not disturbing the spine, so you're not pushing out through the rib cage and the hips aren't moving. Inhale as you float the arms down, just gently press the hands back behind you. And breathing out again as you float all the way up. Inhale, coming back down, pressing the hands back behind you. And breathing out as we float up. And again, inhale, float it down, pressing the hands back. And breathing out as we float up. One more time, and then we'll change this into circles. So floating up now as you breathe out. And as you inhale now, circle those arms all the way around. Try to bring them back behind you slightly. And then turning the palms again to face behind you as we float up again. And inhale, circle it round. And breathing out again as we float up. Inhale, circle it round. Exhale, floating it up. One more time in this direction. Again, avoid disturbing the spine. Pressing forward through the hips or the rib cage. Finish that last one, bringing the arms all the way down. And now we're going to reverse the circle. So as you press the hands back, you're going to turn the palms forward and then circle up and then coming down over the head and back down in front. So turn the palms forward as we take them back and circle around. Inhale as you float it down. Two more. Exhale, circling it back. Inhale, taking it down. Exhale as we circle it round. Last one. All the way down. And just let the arms settle back down by your side. You're going to take the feet out a little bit wider now. So just stepping out a little bit wider than hip width, turning the feet out slightly. We're going to come into a nice side reach. So first of all, think about keeping the hips and the pelvis still and stable. So try and avoid shifting through the hips. Let's float up with the right arm first, reaching towards the ceiling, and then reaching over into that nice side reach, opening up through the side of the body. Inhale as you start to restack and float the other arm up with you, And then switching sides as you breathe out. Inhale as we start to restack, floating the other arm. And exhale as we take it over to the other side. Lovely. Inhale, restack, float the arm. And exhale, taking it over. One more each side, and then we'll add the hips. So just finding this nice long stretch. Feel that you're reaching the opposite hand down towards the floor at the same time as reaching over the head. Lovely. We're going to repeat it again, this time adding the hips. So again, reaching up and over and allow the hips to move. So you come into a nice long banana shape now. Inhale, restack, draw those hips back underneath you. Exhale, switch sides, hips coming with you. And inhale, restack. Exhale over to the other side. So a nice fluid movement from side to side. Allowing the hips now to press across with you. Increasing that stretch down through the side. One more each side. Finish that last one. Float the arm all the way down. Well done. And we'll just step those feet back in to about hip width and parallel. And if you're not already stood on one end of the mat, if you just come to one end, we're going to mobilise the spine into roll downs, and we'll add a little bit of a back bend on the end as well. So let's take a moment, feet about hip width again, standing tall, relax through the shoulders, avoid pushing the hips forward or back behind you. Inhale and exhale as we nod the head to start the roll down. Let the shoulders roll forward, head and arms nice and heavy. Feel that you're drawing the rib cage into the back of the body, scooping the tummy in as you roll it down and going as far as you feel comfortable. Knees soft if you need to. Taking a breath in when you're ready and breathing out as we start to restack the spine. So unfold the hips, stacking bone by bone. And we're going to continue to travel the eye line up towards the ceiling. Feel that you're lifting through the chest, sending the shoulders down the back so you come into a small extension. Inhale as you start to return the spine to neutral. And then exhale again as we nod the head and roll it back down. Again, heavy head, heavy arms. Controlling it down, scoop the tummy in. Again, when you're ready, inhale, exhale as we roll back up, stacking through the spine, taking the shoulders back, opening the chest towards the ceiling as you travel the eye line towards the ceiling. Avoid pressing the hips forward. Inhale as you return to neutral, and exhale again as we roll it down. It's a really lovely way to just wake up the spine this morning. You're also stretching out through the back of the legs slightly. When you're ready again on the exhale, rolling up. Stacking through the spine. Eye line towards the ceiling, into that nice small back bend. Just going to do it one more time. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, rolling it down. And last time, rolling up. Stacking the spine again. Last time, coming into that small back bend. And now we're going to roll it all the way down to come to the floor. So last time now, nodding the head, rolling it down, making your way all the way to the floor. Now I'm just going to flip my camera as you roll yourselves down. Once you're ready, you can walk the hands out and bring yourself down onto the floor into all fours. So walking it out when you're ready, bring yourself down onto the hands and onto the knees. Just organising yourself into neutral, so just taking a moment to find those natural curves, lengthening out through the crown of the head and out through the tail. So we're going to come into a lovely movement for the lumbar spine, which tends to get quite tight and quite achy. So we're going to come into tail swish that we've done before, but we're going to try and increase the range slightly and get a little bit more movement. So we're going to allow the feet to move with us. So try and focus on a spot down on the floor, roughly in between your hands. Connect the shoulders on the back and try and avoid the upper body shifting with you. Let's take a breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine swishing your tail over to the right and let the feet come with you over to that right side, helping to increase the range through the lumbar spine, so you almost roll on the knees. Inhale as you bring it all back to the center, back to neutral. Exhale as we then swish and roll over to the left. Let the feet go with you, rolling on the knees. Inhale back to the center. Exhale again as we swish over to the right. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, swish over to the left. Lovely, one more each side. So just this nice little movement through the lower back, hips and pelvis. Almost like you swivel on the knees to allow the feet to move with you. We're going to swish again over to the right and we're going to hold it here. And we're now going to add some flexion. So we're going to come into cat stretch on this side. So inhale and exhale. Think about tucking that tail now down between the legs. Curl through the spine, tucking the head into cat stretch. And now inhale as you swish over to the left, staying in cat stretch. And as you exhale, unravel the spine and take the head and the tail through into extension. So let's do that again. We're going to inhale as we swish over to the right, staying in that extension if you can. And then as you exhale, tuck the tail, curl through the spine and come back into cat. And again, inhale as we swish over to the left. Exhale as we unravel and bring the spine into extension. Lovely, let's do it one more time. Inhale, swish over to the right. Exhale, coming into cat stretch, tucking the tail, tucking the head. Inhale, swishing over to the left. Exhale as we unravel into extension. And now we're going to return ourselves to neutral. So bring the feet and your lumbar spine back to the center and return yourself to neutral. And we're just going to reverse it now and do it all again on the other side. So we're going to start on the left this time. So again, on the out breath, we're going to take the feet and the tail over to the left. Hold it here and coming into cat stretch again. Tuck the tail, curling through the spine, coming into that nice flexed C curve. Inhale as we swish over to the right. And exhale as we unravel into extension. Inhale, swish to the left. Exhale, coming into cat. Inhale, swish it back to the right. And exhale as we come into extension. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale, swishing over to the left. And exhale, coming into cat stretch. Inhale, swish it to the right. Exhale, coming into extension. And now bringing everything back to the center and return the spine to neutral. Let's take a breath. And as you breathe out now, sinking it back to the heels to come into rest position. Open up the knees so you can lower yourself right down. Head and chest towards the floor. And just take a moment to focus on some nice deep breaths into the back of the body. So hopefully we've really woken up the spine. We're going to do a little bit in extension now. So in this position, just take your hands out a little bit wider to accommodate us in a moment as we draw forward. So I take your hands about the width of the mat. Really feel that you're reaching forward out through the fingers. Let's take a breath in And as you breathe out with a flexed spine, start to draw yourself forward again onto the hands and onto the knees. Continue to travel the hips through so you come into a nice long extension into this nice Sphinx position here. And just hold it for a moment. Try and lift the hips out of the floor. Inhale and exhale as you now slowly work your way down. Soft elbows, controlling it down slowly and into the floor. Bringing the hands now into a wide W, so just outside of the mat, ready for Cobra. Take out the legs a little bit wider than hip width and let the heels roll in towards each other. So mobilizing the upper spine into extension. If you need to, stay at Cobra prep and just come to the bottom of the rib cage, or we're going to come all the way up into full Cobra if you can. So let's take a breath. And as you breathe out, brush the nose along the floor, lengthen out through the crown of the head, bringing the chest out of the floor, coming to the base of the rib cage, and if you can, continue to come out of the floor. Scoop the tummy in, feel that you're lifting through the hips and the front of the pelvis, just looking forward to the end of the mat. Inhale and exhale, soft elbows as you slowly work it down. Rib cage, chest and head returning to the floor. And let's do 3 more in your own time. Brushing the nose, lengthening out. Just gently lifting through the abdominals to support the lower back. Try and avoid using your arms. A nice sequential movement through the front of the body as you bring it back down. And really feel that you're growing a little bit taller, being pulled out through the top of the head, lengthening out and away with the feet. One more. Controlling it down, returning yourself all the way back to the floor when you're ready. And then we're just going to bring the hands underneath the head now. So you can just relax through the shoulders and through the upper body. Legs can come in about hip width and parallel. And we're just going to work into the hips slightly, especially the hip extensors now. So let's just take a breath. And as you breathe out, just lengthen through your right leg and start to hover the right leg off the floor. So feel that you're peeling the front of the thigh, but keeping the weight on the front of the pelvis. And now we're going to fold the knee, so the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. And now lift a little bit higher, so trying to bring the thigh off the floor, working into the hip extensors here. And now lengthen that leg away, really reaching out through the toes as you slowly control it all the way back down to the floor. So same on the left. We lengthen and lift the left leg, fold the knee and reach the toes up towards the ceiling. So lift a little bit higher off the floor. And now lengthen away, really reach out as you control it down to the floor. Let's do 4 more. So we lengthen and lift, fold the knee, lift, reach the toes to the ceiling, and then lengthen the leg away as you control it down to the floor. And again, try and breathe out as you lift, folding the knee, inhale as you reach the toes towards the ceiling, and exhale as you lengthen away and control it down. So 1 more on each side. Folding the knee, reaching the toes. Really feel that you're making that leg a little bit longer as you lengthen it away. Control it down. 1 more on the other side. And Settle the legs back into the floor. And we're going to slowly transition round onto our side. So just take a moment as you slowly roll yourself round onto your side. And this is where you will need blocks or pillows just underneath your head. And we're going to set ourselves up for arm openings, but with a slight modification for the lumbar spine. So the legs are going to stack into that chair position that we've done lots of times before. The shoulder is coming underneath you, stacking the arms in front of the chest and using blocks or pillows underneath the head for support. And just make sure that you feel as though you're lifted out of the floor and out of the shoulder. So you might need a couple of pillows, 2 or 3 maybe. And try and find that lift through the underside. With your top leg, we're just going to change the positioning. So we're going to lengthen that top leg out in front and just let the foot rest on the floor. So it's taken your lumbar spine into a little bit of flexion. So it's just slightly changed the position. So you're going to get a slightly different stretch in that area. So stacking the arms in front, nice and open across the chest. Try and avoid sinking that waist into the floor. So coming into arm openings now, and you can allow for a little bit of movement, but try and keep the leg heavy. So inhale as you open that top arm and reach up towards the ceiling. Let your head follow. Exhale as you now reach the arm back behind you. So you come into that nice rotation through the upper spine. Inhale as you reach again to the ceiling, and then exhale as we take it down to close the arm. 3 more. So we inhale, reach to the ceiling, really feel that you're lifting the arm out of the shoulder. Exhale as you take it back into that nice rotation, top leg heavy. Inhale, reach it back to the ceiling. Exhale as we take it down to close the arm. So 2 more. So just like you would do for classical arm openings, but slightly different position for that lumbar spine. One more when you're ready. And close it down. This time coming into chalk circles, and where normally we would focus on keeping the stable nice and pelvis and no movement, this morning we're going to allow for movement. So we're going to allow this top hip to roll, and we're also going to allow for a little bit more movement in the shoulder. So starting with that leg extended out and the arms stacked, we're just going to reach the hand and the foot forward. So let yourself roll slightly, letting that hip roll forward, and now start to circle the arm up and over the head. As you take it back into the circle, let that top hip roll back with you. So everything rolls back, if you've got enough space behind you, like I do. And then circle it all the way back around. And again, reach it forward through the foot, through the hand. And circle it round again. And roll it back. Let that top hip roll. Circle it round. And reach it forward and roll forward through the hip and the shoulder. Circle it round, roll it back. So you're allowing for more movement than we would do classically. Roll it forward. Last one. Circle it round, roll it back. And bringing it all the way back round, closing the arms. You can fold that top leg back in. And we're just going to slowly push ourselves up from this side and just sit the legs round now in front of you. We're not going to be here for too long, but feel free to grab a pillow if you need to sit on something. So extend those legs out, flex the feet and pull the toes towards you. Feel that you're lifting up and out of those hips. We're going to come into a nice spine stretch before we change sides. So we're going to reach up towards the ceiling and really feel that you reach and lift. Take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, we're going to start reaching over the legs. Feel that you really draw the tummy in, rib cage into the back of the body. Reach over the toes and hold it there. Deep breath in. And breathing out as we restack the spine, reaching back up towards the ceiling. And again, breathing in and out. Feel a sense of lift, reach yourself up and over. Rounding through the spine, reaching over the toes. Inhale. Exhale again as we restack. Lifting and reaching to the ceiling. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, lift, reach yourself up and over the legs. Keep pulling the toes towards you so you stretch through the back of the legs. Inhale and exhale, restack. Hold it here as you breathe in. And now breathing out, just circle those arms all the way down. And let's just spin those legs round to the other side. And bring your pillows, blocks over for arm openings again. So set yourself up like you would do normally for arm openings. Legs into chair position, shoulder underneath you, blocks underneath the head so you feel supported, stacking the arms in front of the chest. And again, find that little bit of lift in the underside so that you're not flat and pressing down into the floor. And now we're just going to lengthen that top leg out in front and just let it rest down onto the floor. So you get that little bit of flexion in the lumbar spine again, slight roll forward through the hip. Coming into arm openings first of all. So inhale as we open the arm, reach towards the ceiling, let the head follow again. As we exhale, take the arm back into that upper spine rotation. And inhale, reaching back to the ceiling. Exhale, close the arm down. 3 more. Inhale as we reach up, feel that you're lifting the arm out of the shoulder. Exhale, taking it back. And inhale, reaching to the ceiling. Exhale, closing it down. Last 2. Try and keep the leg nice and heavy. And avoid flattening that underside down into the floor. Keep that sense of lift. Finish your last one. And now we're going to come into those chalk circles again, allowing the movement through the top hip and through the shoulder. So again, feel that you reach through the hand and through the foot. So you let this top hip roll forward slightly. So the whole body slightly rolls in towards the floor. And now circle the arm up and over the head, circle it round, let the top hip roll back with you. And then continue circling it round, back to the front, and again reach it forward through the leg, through the arm, and circle it round, rolling it back, and all the way again, reaching it forward, nice big stretch forward, circling it up and around, rolling it back, and one more time, reaching it forward, and circling it round, rolling it back. And bringing it round, stacking the arms, folding that top leg in. And now let's transition into relaxation position. So you can move your pillows and blocks out of the way, over to one side. Slowly roll yourself round onto your back and lie yourself down onto the floor. So let's take a moment, finding those natural curves of the spine again. Tucking the feet towards you, hip width and parallel. Spreading the feet into the floor, just gently pressing down to keep the legs nice and stable. Finding your neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Let's take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Drawing down through the back of the rib cage. Really relaxing the shoulders and the arms. Feeling weight through the back of your head and length through the back of your neck. And we're going to focus on some movement again through the lumbar region of the spine. This is known as pelvic clocks. Quite a subtle movement, but really lovely because you'll be moving in full range. Flexion, extension, and rotation. So imagine that you have a clock face just resting on the front of your pelvis. So you could have the number 12 just underneath your belly button, the number 6 just resting on the pubic bone, and 3 and 9 either side on the hips. And if it does help, again, you could use the imagery of a marble that we tend to use quite often because it really helps get the movement. So imagine your marble is resting in the middle of your clock face. So at the moment you're in neutral, everything is nice and stable. And now think about rolling the marble towards you. So roll it towards number 12, towards your belly button. So you feel the lower back just gently imprint the floor. And now whichever side you want to go, we're going to roll it down towards one hip. So we start to just gently tilt and tip the pelvis over to one side. And then continue to circle that marble down towards number 6. So down towards your pubic bone. And then rolling it over to the other hip. So up and over to the other side. And then roll it back round to number 12. So you're moving in a nice circular movement round your clock. So let's go for a couple more in this direction if you can. Getting that nice circular movement, rolling the marble from your belly button down to one hip, down towards the pubic bone, over to the other hip, and then back to number 12. Let's just do it one more time in this direction because it's such a lovely movement. And then see once you're back to number 12, let's see if we can change direction. So taking it over to the opposite hip to start, roll it down to number 6, up to the other hip, and then back to number 12. 3 more. Just breathing naturally as we get this lovely movement through that lumbar spine and pelvis. Nice and steady, don't move too fast. So we're moving through flexion, extension, and rotation. When you're ready, roll it back to number 12. And then let's roll the marble to the center now and bring yourself back to neutral. Just settling, feeling the weight through the back of the pelvis. And now let's take it into spine curls to mobilize the spine a little bit more and open up through the hips. So let's take a breath to prepare. Breathing out as you gently tilt through the pelvis, roll the marble back to number 12 if you want to think of it that way. And then continue to peel the spine off the floor, lifting away through the hips, standing into the feet, just coming to the bottom of the shoulder blades. So try and avoid lifting up through the rib cage. Inhale at the top and exhale as we work it back down, bone by bone. Returning the spine and the pelvis all the way back to neutral. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, exhale, start with that gentle tilt through the pelvis and then peeling away. Really thinking of those links of the chain, one vertebra at a time. Feel that you're opening up the hips as you come up, lengthening the knees away over the toes. Spreading the feet into the floor. With our next one, we're going to come up and we're going to hold the bridge and add the arms now. So when you're ready again, tilting through the pelvis, peeling away from the floor, lifting through the hips, standing into the feet, and just hold it here for a moment. As you inhale, lift and float the arms up and over the head. And now as you exhale, start to circle the arms around and roll down through the spine at the same time. So the arms are going to come all the way back down by your side, returning ourselves to neutral. And again, inhale, exhale, spine curl off the floor first, peeling away, lifting through the hips. When you're ready, inhale, float the arms up and over the head. Exhale inhale as you circle the arms around and work down through the spine at the same time, bone by bone. Settling back to neutral, let's do it 2 more times. So we're peeling away first, spine curl off the floor, find the height through the hips. When you're ready, float the arms over, and then circling round as we work down through the spine. Last one. Bringing the arms to rest back down by your side, returning the pelvis back to neutral. And we're now going to come into hip rolls. So we're going to bring the feet and the knees together. So connect feet, knees and inner thighs. Take the arms out a little bit wider, rolling the palms up to face the ceiling. Just relax through the shoulders and the rib cage. Let's take a breath. And as you breathe out, lift the left side of your pelvis and start to roll the hips and the knees over to the right side. So keep the legs connected and the feet stacked, and keep the shoulders down on the floor. Inhale as we return to the center, bringing that left side of the pelvis back down. And then exhale as we lift the right side of the pelvis and roll to the left. Just gently press the arms and the back of the hands down into the floor. One more each side, and then we'll add to it. Inhale to the center, and exhale as you roll. Lifting through one side of the pelvis to initiate the roll. And now bringing it back to the center, and we're just going to add to it now. So again, we're just going to roll ourselves to the right. So lifting the left side of the pelvis again, rolling hips and knees over to that right side. And just hold it here for a moment. Now as you inhale, just lengthen the top leg. So out through the left leg, and just let the weight of the leg drop you down a little bit further into that roll. And then as you exhale, bring everything back to the center. So keep that leg extended, roll it all the way back to the center, and then return the foot back to the floor. Same on the other side. So we lift the right side of the pelvis and roll ourselves over to the left. We extend the top leg, so extend that right leg out. And just for a moment as you inhale, let the weight of the leg just draw you down a little bit further to the floor into that roll. And then as you exhale, we're going to roll it all back to the center with the leg still extended. And then take the foot back to the floor. And let's do it one more time on each side. If it's too much, keep the feet down. So again, we're going to roll. Keep the shoulders down. Lengthen out that top leg. As you inhale, just let the weight of the leg take you a little bit further into the twist. Exhale as you then bring it all back to the center and return the foot back to the floor. Last time on the other side. Try and keep the shoulders down, press the back of the hands into the floor. Rolling it all the way back. Return the foot to the floor. And let's just hug the knees now in towards the chest. Just releasing across the hips and the lower back for a moment. Hugging those knees. Nice deep breath. And now just keeping that right knee in towards the chest. Send the left leg away. So you're opening up through that hip. Just reaching out, pointing through the toes. Hold it here, take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, just flex both feet. So pull toes towards you. As you inhale, point the toes away. Exhale, flex both feet together. Inhale, point the toes away. 2 more. Exhale, flex the feet. Inhale, point the toes away. Last one. Exhale, flex the feet. Inhale, point the toes away. Bring that left leg back in towards you and now hug your left leg and send the right leg away. Again, opening up in the hip, pointing the toes away as you inhale. And then exhale as we flex both feet again. Inhale, point the toes away. Exhale, flex both feet. Inhale, point the toes away. Exhale, flex the feet. One more time. Pointing the toes away. And flexing the feet. And then just bringing that right leg back in. Left foot down to the floor. Just return yourself into neutral position, relaxation position. And we'll just take a moment to focus on breathing. So if you do want to, you can place the hands around your rib cage. Just take the arms out and wrap those hands and hook the thumbs around the sides of the rib cage. And we'll just take a moment to focus on our lateral breathing. So breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel that you gently expand into the rib cage on the inhale. And feel the rib cage closing as you exhale. Let the back of the rib cage just settle into the floor. And from here, let's just take a moment now to bring ourselves into a comfortable position for some relaxation. So feel free just to take a moment and maybe grab some pillows if you want to. If you prefer, feel free to come onto a chair. And we'll just get ourselves into a nice position ready for some relaxation, focusing on our breathing. So if you are on the floor, it's quite nice to maybe have some pillows behind you just to prop you up through the upper body, and maybe pillows behind the back of the knees. So you've got a slight flex there in the knees and not pulling on the hips and the lower back. So that can help if you're a little bit tense in that area. Maybe tuck the pillows down underneath the shoulder blades as well. So we're just taking some load out of the spine, supporting yourself in a comfortable position. You could maybe lie into a long frog, open up the hips, let the arms come out, roll the palms up to the ceiling. Wherever you feel comfortable, maybe lying onto your side is better. And just take a few moments to bring the awareness back to your breathing. This time, just changing the pattern of breathing slightly. So you can take the breath right down and breathe into your belly. So feeling the gentle expansion into the belly as you inhale. And exhale. So taking slow, long, deep breaths. Focus on the rise and fall of your breathing. Finding a natural rhythm as you inhale and exhale. Begin to let go of noises around you and just begin to shift your attention from outside to inside yourself. And maybe if you're distracted by sounds in the room, just simply notice this and then bring your focus back to your breathing. Letting yourself soften and relax into the floor or into the chair. Take your awareness down to your feet. Soften the soles, uncurling the toes. Soften your ankles. Soften your calves. Release your knees and release your thighs. Allow your hips to open and allow the small of your back to open and release. Feel and enjoy the length of your spine, but let it go. Take your awareness down to your hands. Stretch your fingers away from your palms and just feel the center of your palms opening. And then allow the fingers to curl and the palms to soften. Allow your elbows to open. Allow the front of your shoulders to soften. And with each out breath, allow your shoulder blades to widen. Allow your breastbone to soften. And allow your neck to release. Check your jaw. It should be loose and free. Allow your tongue to widen at its base and rest comfortably at the bottom of your mouth. Your lips are softly closed. Your eyes are softly closed. Enjoy the soft darkness. Your forehead is wide and smooth. Your face feels soft. Your body soft and warm. Allow your body to sink into the pillows or the chair supporting you. And just observe your breathing.
breathing naturally and full. Bringing the awareness back to your breathing, and just slowly start to move through your fingers and then your toes, and just take your time to move slowly and bringing yourself out of your relaxation, coming out of the floor or sitting up from your chair. Thank you very much.